Okay, let's get started with CryoSPARC. So CryoSPARC is a lot more user-friendly, I'd say, than Rely On, but that comes at a cost of not being as customizable. So I think the two work really great hand in hand. It's definitely worth learning both. When you go to first launch CryoSPARC, you'll actually have to download it and install it onto your desktop. So please have a CryoSPARC license ready. If you don't have one, go and request one. They're free for academics. And go through the process of the install. It takes you through and asks you for different pieces of information. That install is linked to that license and the email address you use, password you use, and port number you choose. So please save all that information somewhere. Next time you go to launch CryoSPARC, it will take a little while to launch. Don't panic. But after it goes through that, it will just launch a web browser like you may be used to, or if you've never used it, welcome to CryoSPARC. This is what it looks like. We're going to start a new project by clicking New Project up the top. Because I'm recording my screen, it's not letting me also type, which is weird, but I'm just going to make a project called Shoot Vid. Then I'm going to change the directory into that specific place where you started a scratch with all the folders that you copied from my workshop folder. So if you go back to desktop, scratch, and then wherever it is that you save that, I'm working straight from this one. Go to your CryoSPARC, just hit select. Then we are going to create an initial workspace and hit create. Then we want to import movies, and just like Rely On, we need to tell it where to find these. CryoSPARC is a little less sensitive in terms of having the movies in the directory, but here you can see I've already put them in there. So because my keyboard isn't working, one way I've found to get around this is, and sometimes there is copy and paste issues with Windows users, there's a little clipboard here. You can go in here and type stuff. So I know I need to say dash asterisk tiff. I'm going to go ahead and copy that. And then I'm going to paste it here. Select. And then just like before, the gain and defects are extremely important. It will tell you the type of file it wants there. And then if you just head to my cheat sheet, there is information on how to convert it to the correct file if it's not already in the correct file type. There's also the option to flip as well. So please just go through and make sure you get this right from the get-go. Then you want to add pixel size, and all this information is just the same as before. So just go through and fill this out. If you didn't watch the Rely On tutorial, there's information on that one about where to find this information. Go through and do that. Okay, this is something important. See how this box is still blue, even though I've put information on it? Please click off the box until it goes green, otherwise it hasn't registered. Then we'll go Q. And as you can see here, there is a number of different places we can queue this to. Either the master node, which is the node upon which the desktop has been launched from. Then there's clusters. So just like we did in Rely On, we can send this job to a separate GPU, which is extremely handy and extremely clever. I'm so happy that we have this set up. So you can either go to one of those little partitioned A100 cards for just testing something out, or if it's something really small, like, importing will be so fast, but you could do that on here if you wanted, or the A100s, H100s, or L40s. For this, we can just use the master node because importing is such a small job. Then with CryoSPARC, it actually has hints on what your next jobs should be. So if you go to these three little dots up the top and you click, it will say, hey, I think next you should probably do a patch motion, or it's saying you could build import micrographs. Okay, so as you can see here, that was really quick. This is what Apoferritin looks like. It's a 22 points of symmetry, asymmetrical, basically hollow soccer ball. Yep, that's exactly what I'd expect. And these proteins are actually really tightly packed. So yeah, you can see that here with the very narrow gaps between each protein. Next, you would do this patch motion. But I implore you, please go through the CryoSPARC tutorials and don't just follow along with the 3 dots the whole time, because you may miss out on data which otherwise you could have captured if you processed it differently. So go through the tutorials and do it properly. But here we would want to do a patch motion correct, and just like before, you can go through and you can cut out frames if you don't want them, and then you can queue to all these different places. Motion correct is a heavy job, so you may want to go to one of these heavier GPUs to do that. And that's basically it.